And welcome to the program. We're excited to be here. We're excited to be a part of a special cause that KTRS has been involved with for a long time. Jill, great to be with you. How are you today?
Great, especially because it's just so exciting to hear all the great stories of the groups and the people who have been through the journey of cancer that are supported by so many of the great organizations that the St. Louis Men's Group Against Cancer supports to make the plot twist that happens in so many of our lives who have loved ones or people close to us who've gone through cancer and treatment, to know that there's great organizations out there helping on that journey. And that includes, of course, the Camp Rainbow Foundation. Heather Bachman, you're with us here to talk about what it is you guys do to support people in our St. Louis region.
Yes, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, tell us what Camp Rainbow does.
The Camp Rainbow Foundation provides free camps for children and families dealing with a pediatric cancer diagnosis. So throughout the year, we have about 7 camp programs, and we serve about 1,500 campers.
So you see the kids up close and personal, and they come to the camp. Tell us what you see and the enjoyment and the diversion and the whole thing.
Well, I'm really lucky because I have the opportunity to see camp up close and personal. These children and their families come to us in a really horrible, challenging time in their life, and we get the opportunity to create moments of magic, of camp fun, friendships and laughter. Kids get to catch fish. They get to swim in a pool. They get to meet a new best friend, have time in a cabin, do all the things that a normal camp experience would provide them, but in a safe space that includes the hospital teams that treat them, so that we have a fully staffed health center. And those kids can continue to get their chemo treatments and all of the kinds of treatments that they need daily to treat their cancer diagnosis.
The Camp Rainbow Foundation provides free camp experiences and programs for children and families affected by childhood cancer and blood-related diseases. And Heather, this is the whole cause and the work that you do every day is very mission-driven for you. You're a cancer survivor. You're the parent of a child with medical needs. Tell us what you see in the faces and in the experiences of these kids who are dealing with childhood cancers and blood diseases to be able to get to camp and to do this experience.
I see extreme bravery. That's what I see. It's scary to sit in a hospital room and make a decision to send your very ill child to camp. It takes extreme bravery to fill out that application, to pack their bags, to bring them out to camp, and to leave them with us. But it also takes extreme bravery to be that child, to walk away from that parent and come out to camp, meet that new friend, try that new experience, sleep away from your parent who's been taking care of you since your diagnosis. So that's what I see. Is I see a million little moments of extreme brave acts that create a really special community for children and families.
So you've dealt with over 1,500 campers through the years. I'm wondering if there are like some great success stories. They may have come to the camp at a really dark time in their lives, and now you see them, they've beaten cancer. It must be a great thing to see.
It's amazing. Most of our camps have volunteers that are themselves survivors or siblings. So our SIBS camp has, about half of the volunteers there are siblings themselves, and about a third of the volunteers at our overnight oncology camp were survivors themselves. So it's awesome to see them, come as a camper, grow up through our programs, and then come back and give back to the community.
Incredible. Camp Rainbow, completely free for the free camp experience. Of course, that comes from the support of people like you and, of course, the St. Louis Men's Group Against Cancer. Tell us, before we let you go, what they've done to make the dream stay alive at Camp Rainbow.
Well, we are very grateful to the St. Louis Men's Group Against Cancer because they have supported Camp Rainbow pretty much from our beginning. They've given us over $100,000 to create these magical camp experiences for children and families. And we're just very grateful for their ongoing support and partnership.
Heather, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much for coming in. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. And by the way, with every $100 donation made today, you will receive 4 tickets to the September 16th Cardinals-Reds game and 1 entry into the Masters Golf Experience drawing. And with a $200 donation, you will get the 4 Cardinal tickets, 2 Blues preseason tickets, 2 St. Louis City tickets, plus your name will be entered 3 times into the drawing for the Masters Golf Experience on a private jet courtesy of Metal Exchange.
And we also want to say that those of you who've been around listening to the auction items, they're incredible today. You are already up to $500 on those green seats. If you want the green seats and you want to get your bid in during the Frank and Jill show, which we certainly hope you do, it's for the game on August 25th against Pittsburgh. That bid is up to $500. All you have to do is text green seats to to our Royal Banks Missouri text line 84126 if you'd like to throw out the first pitch of the September 16th Cardinals game. Then all you have to do is text first pitch to us on the Royal Banks Missouri text line 84126. Frank, what's your auction item that you're selling this hour?
What I'm selling this hour?
Is behind the scenes at Channel 5,
oh,
right?
Yes. Yeah. Come on down for a sportscast and a newscast, a tour of the station, and then a little dinner. So it's going to be a great night, and you will pick it at a mutually agreeable time. You'll come down to Channel 5. You'll meet everybody. You can take pictures on the set. You can look like a newscaster. That's not hard to do. But we'll have a good time on at Channel 5. So.
And my auction item is you get to come in for the last half hour of the Frank and Jill show, hang out with us a little bit. Then I'm going to take you to lunch, you and a friend or a partner or whoever you want to bring along at Basso here at Westport. And then also you'll get a $100 gift certificate courtesy of our friend Andy at Hats and Stuff to be able to do a little shopping when you bring down here, of course, some of the best Cardinals wear, Blues wear, City wear at incredible prices here in the entire city. Lots more coming up in the show. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Electricity is very important because if you don't have electricity, you're sitting in the dark in more ways than one. And when the lights go out for one last time, maybe, just maybe, you want a whole home generator. Well, that's where Michael Baldy comes in because Michael Baldy can do that. He's putting in a whole home generator for a friend of mine on the Hill. Whether you live on the Hill or a brand new home, at some point you're going to need some electrical help, and that's where Michael Baldy comes in. He's been an electrician since 1996, and he has a full team of electricians who will help you every single step of the way, whether it's a whole home generator, maybe some extra plugs for the Christmas lights, maybe it's something in the basement, something in the attic, maybe the garage. Doesn't matter. Whether it's an old Victorian home or a brand new commercial building, indoor or out, Michael Baldy, the electrician, has got to be on your phone. Put him on your speed dial, 314-968-9999, 314-968-9999. You can thank me later. Michael Baldy, BaldyElectric.com.
I'm Mark Cantor. Here's why you can count on Cantor Injury Law.
My name is Michelle. I'm a litigation paralegal at Cantor Injury Law, and you can count on Cantor because we are smart, honest, and hardworking.
I'm Kevin Glenn, and a partner here at Cantor Injury Law. You can count on Cantor because we make your cause our cause.
No fee if no recovery. Please visit CantorInjuryLaw.com or call us at 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Appliance Discounters has another showroom, this time on Gravois Road, right next to the little Dairy Queen that's been there for ages. This showroom is different. It's packed with name brands, GE, LG, Bosch, that are slightly dinged, one-of-a-kind, or closeout items direct from the manufacturer. They all come with the factory warranties and all the factory rebates. You want huge savings at big discounts, theappliancediscounters.com. To find the one nearest you, including the one on Gravois Road in Afton, theappliancediscounters.com.
Did you recently change jobs? Don't forget about your old 401k. Leaving it behind could mean missed growth, unnecessary fees, or tax headaches down the road. Should you leave it where it is, roll it into a new plan, cash it out, or even move it to an IRA? Each option has long-term consequences. At Pioneer Wealth Management, we help you make smart decisions about your retirement savings. Visit PioneerWealthMGMT.com to schedule your personalized retirement review.
Investment advisory services offered through Creative One Wealth, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Creative One Wealth and Pioneer Wealth Management are not affiliated companies. Licensed insurance professionals. Investing involves risk, including possible loss of principal.
It's the Big Sports Show with Sports Director Brendan Lisi. Weeknights 7 to 9 on the Talk of St. Louis. The Big 550. KTRS.
A legendary weekend is coming to the Lou. Don't miss the Stiefel Charity Classic presented by Compliance Solutions, September 4th through 7th at Norwood Hills Country Club. Watch PGA Tour champions compete and enjoy a live performance by music sensation OAR at Friday's community concert presented by CarShield. Tickets start at just $20. Kids, military, veterans, and first responders get in free. Get your tickets today at StiefelCharityClassic.com.
Our students are getting unique opportunities that you just would not get elsewhere.
It does give us a lot of options to do things, room to move around and be free and hone in on the you and how that makes your creativity. I came in here not knowing a single thing about how dance can turn into singing and acting and how that can branch out into other things.
Confluence Academies and the Grand Center Arts Academy. Discover your pathway at confluenceacademy.org.
And now the opening dialogue with Frank and Jill on the Big 550 KTRS. Powered by Worldwide Technology Raceway.
United States Senator Eric Schmidt coming up at 10:30. And by the way, Brian Williams is going to be with us on Monday to talk about him running against Sam Page. Okay, thought one. We are the home of the Missouri Tigers, so I thought I'd lead with a thought about Mizzou. It's been since Brady Cook walked off the field in the Music City Bowl, the question, who gets the job next? It was discussed all winter long, all spring long, all summer long. Stepping front and center is Bo Perbula, seemed like the ideal successor, a four-star, a Penn State guy who had the misfortune of playing behind a guy who will likely be a top 10 pick in the NFL draft at Penn State. Give him $1 million and Mizzou has their guy. But hold on. Remember that guy, Sam Horn? The guy who was a phenom in high school with the incredible right arm? Yeah, but he's never played. He had Tommy John surgery, and he concentrates on baseball a lot. Well, all summer long, they've been neck and neck. So much so, the coach's announcement yesterday was not who won the job to be the starting quarterback for Mizzou, but that he needs more time to make that decision. And he will see how they both perform with live bullets next Thursday against Central Arkansas in a game you can hear right here on the Big 550 KTRS. And remember what he told me 5 days ago. When he has to tell the loser of this battle, well, it'll be the toughest thing he does. This is wild. What if they both play great next Thursday? Can you really just put a ball cap on the loser and say you're done for the year? We'll find out. But again, the suspense continues in Columbia, Missouri.
Quick, tiny follow-up. Are both of these players versatile enough to step into any other position?
No. This is the only thing they can do.
Okay, got it. Thank you very much. First thought for me today, big news yesterday. We're going to talk, of course, it's always an honor to have a senator on the air with Eric Schmidt. And he announced yesterday, we'll ask him more about this, that we're getting what's called a surge of FBI agent support in St. Louis, one of the biggest of any metro area in the country. And I don't think anyone can disagree that anytime we get support for law enforcement, something that's been sorely needed as we have a shortage, especially in the city of St. Louis, could be a positive thing. Got me thinking, where is the latest on crime statistics in St. Louis? Here's what the data says. You'll remember, first 3 months of 2025, St. Louis saw the lowest crime levels in over 20 years. Homicides dropped 45%, shootings down 39%. Burglaries and auto thefts fell sharply. Burglaries by a third, auto thefts by nearly 40%. But when those numbers were widely reported, many in our area said it's way too soon to say violent crime on the retreat here. Here's where we are today, the end of August. Homicides were at 150 at this point in 2025. There's 85 so far this year. Moving in the right direction. I would still argue 85 is a lot of people to die in the city of St. Louis in this amount of time.
Great stats.
Numbers are trending down, but the felt experience matters. Crime very much still on the minds of people who live here. Safety isn't just data. It's how we move through our streets, how we rest at night. Numbers are improving, but how safe are you feeling in your parts of St. Louis? Would love to hear from you on the Royal Banks Missouri text line 84126.
And it's like the Washington Post statistic when they were reporting about the D.C. numbers down, and then they did a poll. Joe Scarborough did a big thing on this on MSNBC, that 91% of the people did not feel safe in Washington, D.C., despite the declining stats. So we'll see. All right, thought two. Met the most delightful young lady yesterday, Carissa Yip. She's 21, and she happens to be the best female chess player in the United States. She's made well over $100,000 already this year, and she has a chance to one day to be one of the best in the world. We'll have her story soon on a Sports Plus. But she tells this funny story. So she goes to New York City from time to time for competition, and there are hustlers on the street in the area. And I don't mean hustlers in a bad sense, but they're chess players who you go up and play against, and you play for a little bit of money. And they beat you in chess, and then they make some money on the side. So she tells me she showed up one day, and she's 5'3". She's 21, but she looks like she's 15, the most innocent-looking little girl you could ever imagine. And she asked the guys, can you play? I mean, can I play with you? And they said, oh, sure. And then like 5 minutes later, she cleans everybody's clock and she's made all this money, but she gives the money back. It's like, that's almost like a commercial. You're like a mini documentary. This little girl goes to New York and they have no idea who she is, and boom, boom, boom. She said she had like 10 moves in a row, and they were like flabbergasted. So she's really cool girl. And it's great that like almost every great chess player in the United States, they somehow end up either to live here full time like she, or to compete in the Singfield Cups and all of our great tournaments.
Yep, it's really great. Connor, you're the chess player in the room. Had you heard of this particular ranked player?
No, but you don't hear about every single player.
Yeah,
I don't really follow the.
Just in case you ever try to hustle anybody on the street,
I'll have
beware.
to look out.
Yeah, be leery of her, Connor.
Well, guys, you might want to hang on to the winter coat. The Midwest is having a moment. Forget the Sun Belt, move over Florida and Arizona. People are actually migrating to the Midwest, according to some new data provided by Business Insider. No, they're not the snowbirds that you'd expect. Turns out more Americans, at least in 2024 and 2025, are swapping palm trees for cornfields. Not looking back, and that is the latest. Missouri, Wisconsin, for instance, before the pandemic, we were losing people. Now we're gaining them. Illinois, Ohio, Michigan, Connecticut, all seeing population stabilization where there had been a steady loss in population for decades. What's the why behind the migration? Analysts give a few reasons. Housing in the South gotten really expensive. Summers are blistering here in the Midwest. Winters are getting milder. Economists are calling it climate migration pivot, a full reversal of the last century's migration to the Sun Belt. They say they don't think it's a fad. They think it's here to stay. So the new hot spot, or should I say a cooler spot, might just be near here.
All right. Well, that's good to hear. Thought 3, the Cowboys on Netflix. I'm going to be talking about this almost every day. Michael Irvin, again, gives the best sound bites of all time. Everything he says is either funny, cocky, or compelling. Best TV since J.R. Ewing was feuding with Cliff Barnes on Dallas. Jerry Jones's dad has a farm in Springfield, Missouri, or had a farm, and they have video of Jerry going hunting on that farm and how, he just loved being in our state. And what an entrepreneur Jerry Jones was at a young age. He sold ladies' shoes. He had pizza parlors. He sold mobile homes. Best story, Jimmy Hoffa. Yes, that Jimmy Hoffa offered to help finance Jerry's bid to buy the San Diego Chargers, and he really thought he was going to get it, and it looked like he could do it. But Jerry's dad stepped in and said, no, what if things go wrong? Do you know what Hoffa and his people could do to you? So he backed off the Chargers. And then finally, there's the story of this guy named Charles Haley. He was a great defensive end for the 49ers who eventually went to Dallas, and he is about as crazy a football player as God ever put on this earth. He was so mad at the 49ers general manager that he urinated on his desk once. And how about this? In a team meeting in Dallas, actually it wasn't in Dallas, it was in San Francisco, one of the players turned around and he was doing something a man should not be doing. You can figure it out from there. But the absolute craziest guy I've ever been around, Charles Haley, he used to come into St. Louis for Demetrius Johnson's charitable foundation basketball games. And DJ would always get all these stars. Hey, come on over, talk to Frank. Come on, talk to Frank. And Charles Haley just looked at me and says, I ain't talking to you. And he just walked right by.
Oh, my goodness.
So I always remember Charles Haley.
We're 2 episodes in. I like it. It's probably not going to hold my attention to the same degree that it holds yours, but I thought it was great. The home videos of Troy Aikman on his farm in Oklahoma, lots of good stuff. And so I'm glad you recommended it. Hey, we recommend to you that you consider donating to the 15th annual Radiothon here to support the St. Louis Men's Group Against Cancer. The green seats auction items still stand at $500. If you would text us green seats and your bid and name, if you want to get in on being able to sit in these, all the food, all the drink you want for the Cardinals game in those special green seats against Pittsburgh on the 25th, or the once-in-a-lifetime experience to throw a first pitch out at a Cardinals game versus Cincinnati on September 16th. That bid currently at $450. If you want to beat that, text us first pitch to Royal Banks of Missouri text line 84126 along with your name and your bid. Frank, your item, if somebody wants that, it's text Frank along with the amount that you're willing to bid on the item and your name. And real quickly, what's the item that people will get if they text on yours?
Behind the scenes at Channel 5, you'll meet everybody, take pictures on the set, watch a newscast, and then we'll get a quick bite afterwards. We'll get a little dinner too.
And I would love to have lunch with you here after you come in, sit in on a little bit of the show with Frank and me. I'd take you out to lunch at Basso Westport Plaza and a $100 gift certificate to hats and stuff. Big thank you to Mary Lynn, $150 auction bid already on my item. Keep them coming, guys. We really appreciate it. And we'll be right back after this.
And now, KTRS weather from the John Beal Roofing Weather Desk.
You're stepping off today in temperatures in the 60s or lower 70s, only warming to 84 degrees today. That is below normal for this time of year. Mostly sunny skies with a little bit more cloud cover in the afternoon, but the humidity is low and we have a nice breeze from the northeast around 10 miles per hour. The warmest temperatures this week happening today through Saturday. Then we get a fall-like feel beginning early next week. With your first alert forecast, I'm meteorologist Leah Hill for the Big 550 KTRS.
John Beal Roofing is the home of the lowest price roofing guarantee. Get a free estimate today at johnbealroofing.com.
All right, so you're looking for a new front door, maybe to change the style up a little bit. Maybe you've got some windows that are leaking and aren't very energy efficient, and you'd like to get some new ones. And so you start looking for a window company. Let me tell you about my friend and my neighbor, Larry Thornton from the Window Store. He's been selling windows and doors in St. Louis for 37 years. He has access to all the quality windows and all the quality doors. And unlike so many other window companies, it's not a marketing game. Buy one, get the next 7 free. At the Window Store, you buy one window, you get one window. But when you compare apples to apples, right, you'll notice that the Window Store has much better pricing. There is no hard sell. They're not going to stand in the middle of your living room demanding you sign on the dotted line. For 37 years, they've beat everybody on quality, on price, on customer service. If you need windows or doors, that's why you need to call my neighbor, Larry, or his son, Joe, 314-739-0002 or WSWindow.net.
I don't know of anybody who hasn't been to Milo's. Located in the heart of the hill across from St. Ambrose Church, family-owned Milo's helps anchor the neighborhood. Here's owner Joe Valmer on what makes Milo's so iconic.
The secret to success at Milo's is that, and I'll be very honest with you, it's my wife, Susie. This is the way you do things. This is the way how you treat people. We treat them like family. That's why we've had employees for so long. And when people come in, they feel that. When you come in, we want to make it like your home. You're going to feel like there's no better place to be.
For great food, a great patio experience with the best bocce in town, visit Milo's Bocce Garden. And Milo's is available for private parties online at milosboccegarden.com.
And welcome back. This is the Frank and Jill Show on the Big 550 KTRS. When he's not dominating congressional baseball games, he's being a United States Senator, and now he's an author. He's Senator Eric Schmidt. The name of the book is The Last Line of Defense, How to Beat the Left in Court. He joins us now. And Senator, welcome to the program. And before we get to the book, of course, big news yesterday about the FBI increasing agents in St. Louis. What can you tell our listening audience about that?
Yeah, it's great to be with you, Frank and Jill. This is something early on I worked with the Trump administration, and really on day one as Kash Patel was getting confirmed. You know, he had stated a desire to get some FBI agents out of Washington and into the field. And I said, well, I've got just the spot for you, my hometown of St. Louis. And so we've been working on this. It's the largest per capita permanent investment the FBI's had in any place. And so I think this is going to be focused on violent crime. This is going to be about getting the bad guys off the streets. They're going to be working with local police departments in doing that. And this isn't like a surge. I think we're going to be working on things like that, you know, joint task force and others. But these are people permanently here that are going to be taking on violent crime. And I think it's important. People deserve to feel safe. So I'm really proud of that we could deliver that for the people of St. Louis.
Thanks so much for being with us today, Senator Schmidt. Can I get your thoughts on Andrew Bailey headed to Washington, D.C. to be the deputy director of the FBI? And what do you think of Catherine Hanaway being appointed Attorney General for the state of Missouri? And what would you like to see her accomplish in office?
Yeah, so Andrew's a friend, and he's done a great job. And it's a loss for Missouri, no doubt, but I think he had a calling to go, to Washington and work with the FBI. There's a lot of reform that needs to happen internally and get the FBI back to its core mission fighting crime, which is kind of dovetails into what we were working on to try to get more permanent FBI agents to go do that. And then I've known Catherine for a while. I have a ton of respect for Catherine Hanaway. I wish her the best. I think she'll do a good job. And so, yeah, that's kind of where, a little bit of a shake-up there. But I think Andrew he'll do a great job in the FBI. They need more hands on deck there for sure, given some of the things they've discovered.
Another off-topic thought from the book. I've seen and heard a couple of your interviews recently, and I think our listening audience would just love to hear this because you had one of the most compelling and heartfelt sound bites talking about the thrill you get each day when you wake up your son who's special needs and just what he's meant to you in your life.
Yeah, so my son Steven is the reason I got into public service in the first place. As you know, Frank, I went to DeSmet, and there's a lot of, the man for others is kind of the mantra, and I love America, and that's sort of infused in kind of who I was. But running for office was never on the radar screen. I was very focused on my career as a lawyer and building a family. And Stephen was born, and he was born with a rare genetic condition. And Stephen just turned 21 this week, but he's born with a rare genetic condition, and he has tumors in different organs, including his brain. So it's affected his development. He's nonverbal. He'll be with us, right? But he has epilepsy. He had a 4-hour seizure one time, and they're on the last medication to be able to stop it. And through that, you go through a process for me of discernment. The Jesuits talk about this as like, what do you want to do with your life? And for me, it was public service. So Stephen's always been that inspiration for me. He's a touch point even to this day. But I was asked one time, and I relayed this on Tucker Carlson shows. Somebody asked me, I don't remember when, but what do you think heaven is like? And for me, with my boy, there's such innocence there. He's a sweet kid. And when I see him in the morning or when I come home, the look in his eyes is just pure love. It's just he's so happy, and I have that, and it's a strong emotion, and it lasts for a second or two, right? And then you're doing your thing. But to me, heaven is that couple of seconds looking into his eyes times eternity. That's how I would describe what I think. It has to be like that, right? It's just a closeness with your Creator forever. And Stephen is really an angel for us. He's just taught me so many things, and anybody that's ever met him, he's made him a better person.
If you're just joining us on the Frank and Jill Show, you're listening to our interview with Senator Eric Schmitt. Senator, your colleague, Senator Josh Hawley, has gotten a lot of press here for being willing to cross the aisle and work with Democrats to get legislation passed that he thinks helps the region. He gets some pushback from some hardliners in the base of the party. He's getting some kudos from people on both sides of the aisle. What are your thoughts on the way he's doing his work these days?
Yeah, look, we all have kind of our own way that we the issues that are important to us, right? And so for me, like I'm just talking about my son. I work with Democrats on issues related with people with disabilities. Actually, in the One Big Beautiful Bill, we got a multi-billion-dollar sort of commitment in there to strengthen Medicaid for people who actually need it right the most. For in-home care, there's a big wait list for people who want to live more independently but need help in the home. And we're able to clear that backlog and work with Democrats on that and Republicans too, although Democrats actually voted against it on the One Big Beautiful Bill. But I think you try to find common ground with people where you can. You fight for the things that you believe in. And, for me, there's issues that, like on Armed Services Committee I'm on, I work bipartisan with Democrat senators. I mean, I had dinner with President Trump to make sure we got that F-47 in St. Louis. That's going to be built here. That's thousands of jobs and billions of investment. And so you just work with, when you're representing your state, you want to do whatever you can to advocate for it, and you work with anybody who's kind of sort of goodwill and similarly aligned.
Senator, why the book?
Well, I think your audience is going to really appreciate this. So it's The Last Line of Defense, How to Beat the Left in Court. You can get it on Amazon. If people are driving, Frank, we don't want them to get in an accident. Just pull over. You can pull it up on your app and order it now. But, when I was Attorney General of Missouri, it was just a wild time. And this is when, President Trump's out of office. You saw some really crazy stuff. The Biden administration was censoring Americans. We had this crazy COVID restriction world where you're forced to get the COVID shot or you're going to lose your job. Here locally in St. Louis, you had these mask mandates in St. Louis City, St. Louis County, school districts. And it was a crazy time, but we stood up and we fought back. And we won. We took the vaccine mandate case to the Supreme Court and we won. We took the student loan debt forgiveness case to the Supreme Court and we won. In the Missouri versus Biden lawsuit, we unveiled this censorship enterprise or uncovered the censorship enterprise where the highest levels of government were working with big tech companies to censor Americans. They were outsourcing something they couldn't do legally, and we exposed that. In school districts, we took on the school districts that were forcing the masking of kids. There was no science behind any of this. Kids were twice as likely to die of a dog attack than COVID, but this is about power and control. And in that moment, you need people who have courage, who are willing to stand up and fight and win. So it's really kind of a playbook on how we can take on this sort of petty authoritarianism that often kind of creeps into people's lives, and you can stand up and you can fight back. So I think your audience will get it because, I mean, basically it's my time as Missouri's Attorney General. So there's a lot of local anecdotes about things that were happening in Jeff City or even in St. Louis.
Senator, you were given a lot of credit by the mayor of St. Louis, Kara Spencer, for being very quick to respond and try to help to get help to St. Louisans so impacted by the tornado of May 16th. Recently, we're hearing reports and understanding that the federal aid has been slow. There's been some holdups in understanding whether how much and how that federal aid is going to be able to help with clearing out the debris, which is becoming a real issue for the families who've been living in ruins, essentially, especially in that hardest hit in North St. Louis. What can you tell us about federal government response to be able to help the thousands and thousands, as many as 7,700 people in our city so desperately impacted by that tornado?
Yeah, I mean, these are the kind of issues where there shouldn't be a red jersey or a blue jersey. This is our communities and people are hurt and suffering. And we were able to advocate it personally with the president, the chief of staff. We were able to get that declaration early, not only for the cleanup, but also for individual claims. And I actually think that in the next day or two is the time to make sure that those individual claims are in with FEMA. So that was done and actually ahead of schedule, like the typical time frame. So we were able to get that. And really what you're referring to now is all this debris, the tree, all the stuff that's still out there. And my office led the letter with the Corps of Engineers to get them to take more responsibility for it. We want them. They've got the expertise. They've got a lot of the equipment. They can go do that. And so that's sort of the next wave of all this. And we're working in a bipartisan way to make sure the Corps of Engineers is engaged as they should be.
And before we let you go, we know your time is brief. Look in your crystal ball. What happens with Trump, Putin, and Zelensky?
Well, he's opened the door. I mean, look, there's only one person literally in the world that could pull this off, which is to sort of open the door, meeting with Putin, meeting with Zelensky and the European allies, and creating space for negotiation to end this bloodshed. I mean, over 1 million people have died, thousands more every day. This thing is a meat grinder, and I think he's demonstrating American leadership on the world stage. If you've got the courage and demonstrating that with strength to say, we want to bring you folks to the table. It's not our war, right? It's their war. And they need to resolve this, whether it's security guarantees or territorial issues. That's the point of the meeting that he's trying to facilitate. And I'm glad we have a president that's very focused on peace.
Good stuff, Eric. We appreciate your time. Thank you so much, Senator.
Thank you, guys. You take care. We'll
All
see
right,
you.
Eric Schmidt joining us on the Frank and Jill Show. Reminder, we're going to talk with Brian Williams on Monday. We'd like to have as many Democrats as we do Republicans on the program. We've had Claire McCaskill, Jeff Smith is a regular guest. We've had Senator Danforth and now Senator Eric Schmidt.
Yep, always good to hear what the people that are elected to represent us have to say in person. And as always, we cover a lot of different topics on the show, so it's not all politics all the time, but always good to have those important elected officials have a say, and so you guys can hear from them as well. We got to talk a little bit about the Radiothon today. St. Louis Men's Club, Men's Group Against Cancer. People can go to KTRS.com and make donations right now. What do they get, Frank, when they make those donations?
Well, you can win with every $100 donation made today. You'll receive 4 tickets to the September 16th Cardinals versus Reds game and 1 entry into the Masters Golf Experience drawing. And with a $200 donation, you will get 4 Cardinal tickets, 2 Blues preseason tickets, 2 City SC tickets, plus your name will be entered 3 times into a drawing for the Masters Golf Experience on a private jet courtesy of Metal Exchange. So, look, we'd like the 100, but if you get the 200, a lot more bang for your buck with Blues and City SC tickets and a much better chance to win the Masters Golf Experience.
And a couple other things you can bid on still for, I think, a great deal, $500. Tickets to the green seats On August 25th, Cardinals game versus Pittsburgh. All you have to do is text to the Royal Banks of Missouri text line 84126. Text the words green seats, your name and bid. Same thing, first pitch. What an incredible experience you could give. Talk about the world's best Christmas or Hanukkah or birthday gift ever. You could buy this for a kid or grandkid in your life. The ability to throw out a first pitch September 16th Cardinals game versus Cincinnati. Again, text us first pitch to the Royal Banks of Missouri text line 84126. Frank, $300 somebody is bidding for your auction item. Isn't that great? Tell them what the winner so far is going to get.
Okay, so they will get a chance to come down to Channel 5, mutually agreeable day, watch maybe our 6 o'clock news being shot. You can get on the set, take pictures, meet the great Mike Bush, Kelly Jackson, Scott Connell, and then we'll get a bite to eat right afterwards. So it'll be a quick dinner, but it'll be fun, and it'll be a great night at 5 on your side.
And make sure you text Frank. All you have to do is text to Royal Banks of Missouri text line 84126. Text the word Frank, and then your name and what your bid is. Again, $300. It's great. I'm happy to say somebody just bid $550. Oh my gosh, I'm going to show you a lunch like you've never had before for the item from you, which is you get to come in for the last part of the Frank and Jill show, hang out with us a little bit. Then I'm going to take you to lunch, you and a friend and whoever you want to bring.
Yeah,
you can take everybody you want. You can get whatever you want. You can bring whoever you want.
Thanks.
I'm going to take you to Basso, Westport Plaza, and then you'll also get a $100 gift certificate to Hats and Stuff. Our friend Andy from Hats and Stuff is such a great he's a cancer survivor himself, always wants to support the great work of the St. Louis Men's Group Against Cancer. So you guys are helping us get rolling off to a great start today. Thank you very much. Somebody else who always makes sure that you're off to a great start if you're traveling or have a trip that you've just been thinking about for so long and you think someday is here, you guys. It's the time to plan that trip, create the memories. Think about the way that you'll create memories for kids and grandkids if you do a family trip or to signify that special event in your life, the birthday, the anniversary. Altair Travel and Cruises can make it happen for you. You can come in with specific ideas of where you want to go. You can come in with no idea where you want to go, and they'll help inspire you. And maybe you'll go to some place that you never even knew about or dreamed about and have an experience of a lifetime. AltairTravel.com, 314-968-9600.
Diana from Newstetter's Fine Jewelers here to remind you, we don't just offer the best pieces, we offer one of the last master hand engravers in our country. My father can create timeless, personal, and unforgettable pieces. Come by our showroom at the corner of Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or learn more online at wowdiamonds.com.
Some of my fondest memories as a kid is heading down to the hardware store. You had to pick up a couple of nails, a couple of screws, maybe a gallon of paint, whatever it may be, right? It was your friendly neighborhood hardware store. Well, those don't exist anymore in St. Louis, except for Schnarr's Hardware. They have 2 locations in Webster Groves and in Clayton Road in Ladue. Schnarr's Hardware is that place where you go in and you can get that bucket of paint, you can get a couple of screws. The advice is always free. And the one thing about Schnarr's Hardware that every single family hardware store used to have, and that is the smell. It smells like a hardware store. It's got the selection. I don't know how they do it. It's a small store, but they got everything you ever need. They got the paint. They got paint matching. They've got big green eggs. They've got screws and nails and everything a hardware store should have. Schnarr's Hardware, 2 locations, 1 great hardware store. Schnarr's Hardware, we'll see you there.
At Maryville University, we power dreams, not just degrees. For nearly 150 years, we've empowered graduates to build successful careers. At Maryville, expect a rigorous, technology-driven, mentor-inspired education in a diverse and inclusive learning environment. We help you take it to the next level, no matter what field you choose. Now is the time to turn your ambition into action and transform your dream into reality. Start your journey at maryville.edu.
You can count on Cantor. I'm Mark Cantor. When I was 12 years old, I witnessed my father, a pediatric doctor at Cardinal Glennon Hospital, suffer a terrible accident when a large and defective battery exploded in his face. My father went into shock and had to undergo emergency surgery to save his life. While my dad recovered, he hired a lawyer who promised that no one else would be hurt by that company's product, and he filed a lawsuit to make sure no one did. I love my dad, and what he went through inspired me to become a lawyer and to start Cantor Injury Law. Like my father, I serve the St. Louis community, and I have done so for over 30 years. You can count on Cantor to treat you like family. to understand your case and your injury and to fight for you. You can count on Cantor to help make things right. Visit cantorinjurylaw.com or find us on Facebook or call us at 314-628-9999. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision, should not be based solely upon advertisement, so call Cantor.
Everyone's talking about these weight loss drugs, and it's a good thing we've got Dr. Joe Molesky with us, a St. Louis native and board-certified primary care physician. Dr. Joe, it can get very confusing, but the one thing we need to know is GLP-1, right? That's the magic cure.
The magic cure is these weight loss shots. They're injected once weekly. They're not like the old medications that you've seen 20, 30 years ago. These medications actually work. They're injected once weekly, and patients see within the first 90 days 10 to 15 pounds down. It simply works, and that's why I recommend it to all of my patients. You simply go online, book an appointment. You fill out a health questionnaire form. You get an appointment on our schedule. It's all telemedicine based. It's all done from your home. And then you meet with me or one of my nurse practitioners. And then after the 10, 15-minute consult, the medication is delivered right to your door discreetly, and you get started right now on your weight loss journey.
And you want to start to lose weight? None better than to call stlmedweightloss.com and ask Dr. Joe. stlmedweightloss.com.
This is Mariah, third generation at Newsteaders Fine Jewelry. Buying an engagement ring can be intimidating. At Newsteaders, we ensure complete understanding of your purchase. We offer a choice in both lab and mine-grown diamonds and are able to work with any budget. Let our family help educate you on your choice at Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or at wowdiamonds.com.
Welcome back, everybody. So glad you're with us on this Thursday. Beautiful day outside. Beautiful day for you to be joining us for the 15th annual already KTRS Radiothon supporting the St. Louis Men's Group Against Cancer. Things are off to a great start. Frank's item of a really special night going to Channel 5 and having a great experience for you or kids in your life to be able to be there for a newscast and meet some of the superstars of Channel 5 KSDK and hang out a little bit with Frank. He'll take you out to dinner as well, up to already $300. Lunch with me at Basso for whoever you want to bring, and a $100 gift certificate to hats and stuff up to $550. Again, if you want any of those items, all you have to do is text either Frank and the amount you want and your name to the Royal Banks of Missouri text line 84126 or Jill. My name, and then the amount you want to give and your name as well. Also, green seats and first pitch still available. The bids right now sit at $500 and $450 for those items. Again, great option for you to be able to create. I mean, if you're one of the people that says, I never know what to get that person in my life I love, we've just handed it to you. Either green seats or throwing out the first pitch. Pretty great experiences for people, wouldn't you agree, Frank?
Yeah, for people who don't know, the green seats is just... It's an opulent night because they have gourmet food back in the restaurant area where you had this spectacular meal. And then you go out and you sit, 1, 2, 3 rows away from the field, and you have people serving you. And so not only do you have this great meal, you're ordering a cheeseburger or a hot dog or fried cannelloni they have, which I think is really good. And it's just the ultimate baseball experience. Plus, you can be a real dork and be on your phone and telling everybody, hey, look, I'm on TV, or take phone calls. Hey, I just saw you on TV. Is that the nerdiest thing ever?
And the stuff that, I would tell my kids, no, you cannot have the $6 ice cream bar. You can just get that stuff, all the stuff that you would normally not, all the delicious but not healthy for you menu items that you want. I mean, last time we were fortunate enough to go with some clients, and they took us, and it was just fantastic. And the thing that was great is we actually ate inside, and then outside I was like, yeah, I'm still going to have a hot dog because I can.
I've only been like twice, and I took the kids, and we made sure, because they serve food for the first 7 innings, and we made sure we ordered something each inning.
Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah.
Gotta get your money's worth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the big chocolate chip cookies. the ice cream.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
You got it. Those
What
are good.
do they what do we know what green seats? I guess it's subjective.
What do they go for? It depends on the game.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell. But this goes to a great cause. So
yeah,
you get
I
that,
mean,
and it goes to a
hundreds.
great
It's
cause.
fair to say often you could pay hundreds of dollars for these. So you're getting a very good deal. And this isn't about good deals. It's about raising money for a very good cause today. So we hope you
and just
consider
with
it.
these donations, if you make a $200 donation, 4 Cardinal tickets, 2 Blues preseason tickets, 2 City SC tickets, and then a shot at going to the Masters, which I've never been to. So.
I know, in a private plane. Somebody else, well, here's something, talk about excellent opportunities. Woods Basement Systems. I had the opportunity to very recently tell a friend of mine who unfortunately got some water in their basement with one of these rain bomb storms we've been getting. I immediately said, I got the people for you, no question about it. Just call my friends at Woods Basement Systems. They will take care of you. They will give you an honest assessment of exactly what needs to be done, a fair price on how to do it, and they have the most highly trained technicians and equipment because they've been doing this for so long. They are all things basementy in St. Louis, the best business reputation in St. Louis for waterproofing products, and that is Woods Basement Systems. WoodsBasementSystems.com, 618-708-4055.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be signs that your digestive system isn't working at its best? But taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil supports your daily digestive health using a special plant-based fiber called psyllium. Psyllium works by forming a gel in your digestive system to trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Metamucil's gelling action also helps to promote heart health and slows down sugar absorption to promote healthy blood sugar levels. Start feeling lighter and more energetic by taking Metamucil every day.
Moms and dads, do you wish you could know where your kids' shoes are at all times? Now you can with Skechers' newest Apple AirTag compatible sneakers, Find My Skechers. There's a clever hidden AirTag compartment under the shoe's insole. It's sleek, secure, and your child can't feel or see it. Then you can check where your kids' shoes are on the Find My app. Plus, they're available for boys and girls. Get Find My Skechers at Skechers.com, a Skechers store near you, or wherever kids' shoes are sold. Apple AirTags sold separately.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Radiothon Day, and we're so grateful for all of you who've reached out and made your donations, and we hope we'll continue to do so through the rest of the Frank and Jill show today. And, of course, our great sponsors are a big reason that we can do Radiothon and raise so much money for this incredible cause. And one of my faves here, Rick Gross, owner of 3 Bay Barbecue, along with his wonderful wife, Carol. Rick is actually somebody who has been through the cancer journey himself, and I imagine that's one of the reasons that this charity is a special one for you. Is that true, Rick?
That's true, and good morning, by the way. Yes, cancer has touched number of family members. So yes, it's very close to us, and I definitely want to thank KTRS for supporting the St. Louis Men's Group Against Cancer and cancer research.
So big news for you. Voted one of the top 10 restaurants and gas stations in the country. Tell our listening audience about this.
Yeah, that was a great surprise for us. We ended up number 5 in the top 10 across the country gas stations and restaurants and gas stations. It was a great honor to be bestowed upon.
Yeah, that's really special and well-deserved because you guys, it is a special place. You guys have had the gas station, of course, the Phillips 66 out in West County for a long time, but food has been your real passion for a long time as well. Tell us about the journey from going from being business owners at the gas station to restaurateurs.
Yes, well, thank you. Carol and I were out of town, and we wanted to figure out we saw the movie Chef, and we wanted to kind of just see, maybe we can get a food truck and do it because we're both very passionate about food. Carol has baked all of her life, and she's just a superior chef and baker. So we got back, long story short, research. We really didn't want to do a food truck because we're not going anywhere, so we decided to get a food trailer, and we served out of our food trailer for about a year and a half, and we called it Filler Up Barbecue out front because we were by the pumps. And then we decided it was going so strong, we decided to close our auto repair. And we built a kitchen and a restaurant back where the auto repair bays are, hence 3 Bay Barbecue and Bakery.
All right, so what is Carol cooking up today? Because she cooks desserts like nobody else.
Yeah, she is fabulous. Just comes up with recipes all the time, but is so passionate about it. And, you know, our other bakers that work with Carol, it's a great team.
Oh, what desserts do you have going today?
We have them all: gooey butter brownie, our Hawaiian pineapple, our famous carrot cake. We just have so many. Our apple chunk cake, cheesecakes. We have probably about 27, 28 items out there.
Oh, gosh. That sounds
incredible. Rick Rose, thanks so much for your support of the Radiothon today, for your sponsorship and making and helping to support the St. Louis Men's Group Against Cancer. Everybody else, make sure you swing by 3 Bay Barbecue and Bakery at the Phillips 66 station at Clayton Road and 141. Get some delicious lunch today, tomorrow. Pick up dinner to take home or plan to have them cater your next party. Rick, you're the best. Thanks so much.
Thanks. Can I say one more thing, please? I just want to say how grateful we are to our doctors, nurses, technicians, and researchers at Siteman Cancer, Barnes Jewish Hospital, and Washington U medical teams. I just want to thank them. They really made a difference in our lives.
And I can second that as well, a difference in our life when we were on the cancer journey with my husband as well. Rick, you're the best. We'll talk to you again soon. Have a great rest of your day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Hey, we'll be right back on the Frank and Jill Show after the news. Stay with us.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems, like snoring, aches and pains, hot sleep, or even an old saggy mattress that can keep you up at night. And our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And right now, save up to $700 on Tempur-Pedic, plus a $300 instant gift. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Inland Marine Boats in Barnhart has been serving your boating needs for 38 years. Hi, I'm Ryan at Inland Marine, your Mercury Marine dealer. Remember, you only get 18 summers with your kids. Make the most of them with a boat. InlandMarineBoats.com.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
KTRS St. Louis. We are Mizzou.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. An appellate court has thrown out the New York City $500 million civil fraud judgment against President Trump, the Trump Organization, and his adult sons. Here's ABC's Aaron Katursky.
This is a 323-page opinion from the Appellate Division's First Department, and the judges are not in agreement here, but it appears they have found that after a 3-month trial, the judge, this was a bench trial, the judge, Arthur Engoron, correctly found that Trump, his eldest sons, and his business perpetrated a decade's worth of business fraud by hyping the value of Trump's assets.
In California, key parole hearings started today for the Menendez brothers' bid to be freed from prison. The brothers have been in prison for more than 3 decades for the murders of their parents. ABC's Alex Stone says Eric Menendez is before the parole board today.
Eric Menendez's chances of getting parole are uncertain as he is now in front of the parole board making his case for freedom. But a parole board assessment of the brothers earlier this year found them to be a moderate risk if they were to be released into society. And the main question that the board has to determine today is if Eric Menendez would be an unreasonable risk to the community if released. Lyle Menendez has his hearing on Friday. Alex Stone, ABC News, San Diego County.
Hurricane Aaron pushing north in the Atlantic, well off the U.S. coast. The outer bands bearing down on North Carolina's Outer Banks. ABC's Victor Oquendo is in Kill Devil Hills.
Aaron, more than 700 miles wide. So massive, there are tropical storm alerts on both sides of it as it threads the needle between the U.S. and Bermuda. The warnings extending to the Jersey Shore. Atlantic City authorities warning beachgoers not to go in past their ankles.
Israeli Defense Forces say the IDF has started its next military push into Gaza City as it tries to defeat Hamas and secure the release of remaining Hamas-held hostages. You're listening to ABC News.
Chronic migraine is 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine before they start. It's not for those with 14 or fewer headache days a month. It prevents on average 8 to 9 headache days a month versus 6 to 7 for placebo.
Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, including ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Why wait? Ask your doctor, visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com, or call 1-800-44-BOTOX to learn more.
75 degrees at 11:03 with KTRS News. I'm Steve Potter. A suspect is being sought in connection with a hit-and-run accident overnight in the Metro East. Police say a pedestrian was hit by a passing motorist on Greenmount Road near Route 15 in Belleville. The victim was taken to an area hospital with critical injuries. The FBI is adding more agents and personnel to St. Louis, increasing numbers to their highest point in years. The office of U.S. Senator Eric Schmidt reports it will increase the agency's violent crime-fighting capabilities. FBI Director Kash Patel says it brings the office to its strongest presence in St. Louis in years. The St. Louis Open Water Swim, part of the Swim Across America event, takes place Saturday at the Alpine Lake at Innsbruck Resort. Over the last 10 years, the charity event has raised nearly $2 million for Siteman Cancer Center at Barnes Jewish Hospital and WashU Medicine. Wildlife officials say the developers of a massive data center planned for St. Charles withheld critical information that would have threatened 3 endangered species and more. As we hear in this report, the project has now been shut down.
The Missouri Department of Conservation says that building the data center would likely have caused serious issues for 3 federally threatened species and a species recently removed from the endangered list. They include the Indiana bat, the northern long-eared bat, and a perennial plant called decurrent false aster, which only grows in Mississippi River floodplains. The construction would have also disrupted nesting sites for the American bald eagle, which was recently removed from the endangered species list. The proposed 440-acre site is along Highway 370 in North St. Charles. Sobey Bay, KTRS News.
The Missouri man who contracted a rare brain infection has died. The Missouri Department of Health and Services reports that the victim passed away Monday. While not confirmed, preliminary information implies that the patient may have been water skiing at Lake of the Ozarks days prior to becoming ill. The St. Louis Jewish Community Center's biannual used book sale runs Sunday through Thursday. Books are priced from 50 cents to $3, and you'll also find videos, tapes, CDs, and DVDs. Next Thursday, books are free for teachers and nonprofit groups. You can find more information online at jccstl.com. This KTRS Business Minute brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. You can place your order anytime at WKF.com. Vero Life Sciences is expanding in St. Louis. The biotech company opened its headquarters today in the Cortex district. Company leaders say this $42.5 million investment will create 33 highly skilled new jobs. And now let's take a look at the markets, brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in to Straight Talk on Retirement, Saturday mornings from 9 until 11. In the Dow, that's down 189 points to 44,747. NASDAQ down 81 at 21,091, and the S&P 500 down 25 at 6,369. In sports, the dates are now official for the BMW Championship at Belle Reve next year. The top 50 players on the PGA Tour will converge on St. Louis August 20th through the 23rd, with the top 30 advancing to the Tour Championship the following week. Weather-wise, we're looking for a high today near 83, mostly clear tonight, an overnight low around 65, then mostly sunny tomorrow with a high around 87. At 11:06, partly cloudy, 75 degrees at the Gold Tower at Westport.
Steve Potter, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
I'm Jeff Zufall, Senior Tax Strategist and Wealth Advisor with Capital Advisory Group. Now, more than ever, having a tax strategy to protect and grow your wealth is an absolute must. Every Saturday, Josh Gilbert and I will discuss how you can keep what's yours, because the most important part of your wealth plan is your tax plan. That's Keep What's Yours this Saturday afternoon.
Capital Advisory Group presents Keep What's Yours with Jeff Zufall and Josh Gilbert this Saturday afternoon at 3 on the Big 550 KTRS.
Welcome back to the Frank and Jill Show, second hour. KTRS, the Talk of St. Louis, of course, hosts the Radiothon for the St. Louis Men's Group Against Cancer every year. And one of the things that we love is being able to tell you about the incredible organizations that support people who've been through the cancer journey, and they are supported by the St. Louis Men's Group Against Cancer. And that includes Real Recovery of Missouri. And Mark Tonopolsky is the co-coordinator of Real Recovery of Missouri. Tell us a little bit about what it is you do to support people who've been on the cancer journey.
Sure. So my mom had cancer and passed away when she was about my age, so at a very young age. And that got me interested in getting involved with the cancer community. And I found out about this organization, Real Recovery. What they do is they take men on a fly fishing retreat. It's an all-inclusive retreat. In addition to that opportunity to be on the beautiful Ozarks and fly fish, they actually are engaged in counseling sessions as well while they're there. And this is a unique experience because most men who have cancer really don't get that sort of opportunity to talk with others who are going through that similar experience and really have the chance to open up about what's going on with them.
Yeah, so it's called Courageous Conversations. I'm sure you've been a part of these. Give us an idea of just how enlightening it is and just how beneficial it is.
Right. So those are actually led by a professional counselor. So I haven't had the firsthand experience, but that seems to be the most impactful situation for those men while they're there. And so while it's almost like we hook you in by telling you were getting this fly fishing retreat, they seem to really enjoy that aspect of it and get the most out of that aspect because, you know, the mental health and the mental wellness is obviously, I've heard some of the other groups talk about that. It's just not there, right? They get the medical attention, but there's two sides of their recovery. There's that physical recovery and that mental aspect of the recovery as well.
So Real Recovery covers all the costs, including the private room lodging, the catered meals, the guided fishing, transportation if needed. And I love this, the opportunity to escape the challenges of cancer for a few days. Whose idea was it to start this organization?
Yeah, so the organization's been around for about 20 years. It's a international organization actually now. They just started a few new locations, I think, in like New Zealand and Australia. So it was started, though, in Colorado by an individual who struggled with cancer, and it's branched out since. And I believe the Missouri chapter has been around for somewhere between 10 and 15 years.
What about the actual fishing experience? I know you have the Courageous Conversations, but I imagine like that's also a time where men can bond because there's so much downtime.
Absolutely. Well, it's fly fishing is a little bit more interactive than your normal fishing where you're sitting there sort of waiting for it's very interactive. It's very calming. Being out in nature, there with the water. There's a lot of even books and literature on the benefits of fly fishing alone. So that's a very sort of spiritual and mentally beneficial experience as well.
Do you get to eat the fish that you catch?
We don't, but you could.
Okay.
We fish at a resort. It's a fantastic, beautiful area in the Ozarks. They're a hatchery, so you can buy fish there and eat them. But these are catered events. But a lot of times we'll take fish home that we get and eat them, and they are delicious.
So the if you're just joining us, Mark Tonopolsky is the co-coordinator of Real Recovery Missouri, an organization that supports a 3-day, 2-night fly fishing retreat at Westover Farms in Steelville, Missouri, for 10 men every year living with cancer. And Mark, before we let you go, tell us how the St. Louis Men's Group Against Cancer has helped support the work you're doing at Real Recovery.
Yeah, so they provided us with a grant that sponsored one individual. We're actually expanding our offering. So next year we're planning on taking 12 individuals. And there's a lot of interest in actually moving that on further to maybe have a second retreat so we can accommodate even more individuals annually. The organization is growing. We've started some social media sites recently on both Facebook and Instagram. And we have a community picnic coming up just for those who have been active participants. And we're just growing, and St. Louis Men's Group Against Cancer has really helped us in those efforts.
Mark, thanks for coming in. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. So we got a lot of bids out there, and we got some bids coming in. Jill, your item is going to be...
You get to come in for the last part of the Frank and Jill show. We get to meet you. You'll get to sit in and meet Connor and Frank and see what makes us tick every day. And then I'll take you to lunch at Basso here at Westport. We'll have a great time. And then you get a $100 gift certificate to Hats and Stuff, also here at Westport, courtesy of our friend Andy at Hats and Stuff, who always loves to support all charities as it relates to cancer here in St. Louis. And that bid is at $550. Wow. I cannot wait to throw this group the best lunch ever because of that incredible generosity.
All right. And then my bid is going to be an evening at Channel 5 where you'll get to meet Ann Allred, Mike Bush, Kelly Jackson, take pictures on the set. We'll take you behind the scenes. We'll take you into the control room during the newscast. You'll get to meet everybody, and then we'll get a little bite to eat right afterwards. So be a part of it.
Text either Jill, if you'd like the item that I'm auctioning, your name and the amount of your bid needs to be more than $550 to be a winner at this point, or Frank, and your name and the amount of your bid, which needs to be over $300 at this point. Again, we still have that green seats on sale for the game coming up on the 25th of August, $500. The first pitch stands at $450. You get to throw out the first pitch, once-in-a-lifetime experience on September the 16th. Those are all available. Or you can just go to KTRS.com. I've heard from some friends and some others who are texting in that you're friends of the Frank and Jill show, and you guys have hopped on and made donations. For every $100 you donate today, you get tickets to that September 16th Cardinals game. You get an entry into that Masters Golf Experience drawing, where it's a private jet right to the last day of the Masters tournament. Is that right, Frank?
Yes.
And then $200, which is really the best deal of all. 4 Cardinals tickets, 2 Blues preseason tickets, 2 St. Louis City tickets, plus your name to be entered 3 times into a drawing for that Masters Golf Experience. It's just really fun to see how many of our listeners step up to the plate to support this organization, which is near and dear to our heart here.
All right, we'll take a short time out. This is the Frank and Jill show on the Big 550 KTRS.
You have the option to control your cash flow and wealth. Are you getting a return on your greatest asset, your lifetime and potential generational income? Overcome these critical financial planning challenges by discovering the control option mindset featuring the lifetime and generational income maximizer. Call Mark Benson and his team at the Control Option at 314-432-9540 or online at thecontroloptionmindset.com.
Electricity is very important because if you don't have electricity, you're sitting in the dark in more ways than one. And when the lights go out for one last time, maybe, just maybe, you want a whole home generator. Well, that's where Michael Baldy comes in, because Michael Baldy can do that. He's putting in a whole home generator for a friend of mine on the hill. Whether you live on the hill or a brand new home, at some point you're going to need some electrical help, and that's where Michael Baldy comes in. He's been an electrician since 1996, and he has a full team of electricians who will help you every single step of the way, whether it's a whole home generator, maybe some extra plugs for the Christmas lights, maybe it's something in the basement, something in the attic, maybe the garage. Doesn't matter. Whether it's an old Victorian home or a brand new commercial building, indoor or out, Michael Baldy, the electrician, has got to be on your phone. Put him on your speed dial, 314-968-9999, 314-968-9999. You can thank me later. Michael Baldy, BaldyElectric.com.
Hey, it's John Carney. A lot of conversations with the folks over at Allen Roofing, pretty much asking advice, because I know a lot of people got smacked by that storm, and he had some great advice for people to think about. First off, be careful of who you talk to when you're going to get some work done. Make sure there's an agreement and the scope of work is laid out in that contract. Also, as you can imagine, a lot of contractors are busy. Give them some time, and you know what? Allen Roofing will come put a tarp on your roof at no charge, even if you don't use them when you get the roof repaired. Also, check the Better Business Bureau, see what the reviews are for contractors that you deal with, and also remember, insurance companies allow up to an entire year from the date of loss to file a claim. So you've got time to get those repairs done and that replacement done. Don't rush it. Just a few tips from the people that know roofing and repairs better than anyone. It's Allen Roofing, online at aroofing.net.
Worldwide Technology Raceway is the only track in America to host a NASCAR event, an IndyCar event, and an NHRA event.
Don't miss the upcoming NASCAR Xfinity Series, the NASCAR Cup Series, Enjoy Illinois 300, and the NHRA Midwest Nationals, all happening in September.
The track, under the leadership of owner Curtis Francois, continues to upgrade the race experience for fans who come from around the country. For tickets, go to WWTRaceway.com.
My friends at Neighbors Credit Union are rolling out a new account. The new Debit All Day account is designed for the way you pay today. Debit All Day is a checkless checking account featuring a Neighbors Visa debit card, the convenience of online and mobile banking, and access to your direct deposits up to 2 days early. If you're looking for a no-fuss account to make managing your money simple, safe from overdrafts, and free of fees, Debit All Day is for you. Open your Neighbors Credit Union Debit All Day account online today at neighborscu.org.
Call the closer with Lauren Risley Realty.
First day on the market, we had multiple offers. They're definitely on top of things, but we loved working with them. They made it so easy for us.
All you need to know about real estate and more.
I am Lauren Risley. I'm here with my right-hand man, Adam Bundren. Every Sunday at 1 o'clock, you'll be hearing from us a full 1-hour show on all things real estate.
Call the closer with Lauren Risley Realty every Sunday afternoon at 1. Powered by Homestead Financial Mortgage on the Big 550 KTRS. Want a song?
Around my mind like the song on the radio.
Want a quote? It's the song and quote of the day on the Frank and Jill Show. Right here on the Big 550 KTRS.
Welcome back, everybody, to the second hour of the Frank and Jill Show. We're very grateful to Three Bay Barbecue and Bakery, as well as the St. Louis Blues, for being our sponsors this hour for the 15th annual KTRS Radiothon. I'm happy to report that first pitch, the ability to throw out the first pitch of the September 16th Cardinals game, just went up to $500. And by the way, Connor, fact check me on this. You get 6 tickets to go along with your.
You can bring up to, I think it's up to 6 people total with you to do this. So there you go.
Yeah, I think that sounds. I mean, can you imagine if Frank, if you had grandkids that were old, that were at the right age, to give them the thrill of a lifetime, to let them do something like that? Pretty exciting.
Yeah, I don't think I'd go under 5 for them to really appreciate it
and remember it for a long period of time. So the Goo Goo Dolls are in town. They're having a somewhat nostalgia-driven resurgence. They're going to be playing out at St. Louis Music Park tonight. So song of the day today, we go back in time with one of their top hits. See if you remember it. That, of course, is Names, their 1995 hit. And by the way, Randy Naughton, whose podcast, More to Say, also airs on KTRS on the weekends here, did a really good interview with the lead singer of Goo Goo Dolls. She was played him on back in radio when on the early years of her career, way before they were well known to the rest of the country in the early 80s, when she was doing radio out in the Buffalo, New York area, I believe, where she's originally from. And so she has a long history with them, does a really fun interview that you'll want to check out on her More to Say podcast. It's lots of fun. So I didn't ask her. I need to text her and see if she's going to be at the concert tonight. I think a lot of you will be. Where are you on the
I
Goo Goo
like
Dolls?
the fan. I like the band. I didn't know. I didn't really know they were going to be in town. Yeah,
So
I might have gone.
And have you been to St. Louis Music Park before?
I haven't.
It's.
I don't know what
have
that
you
is.
been there, Frank?
No.
It's, you know, where the hockey facility is out. It's kind of on the same property next to Hollywood Casino Amphitheater, I guess behind it where the hockey is. And I think it's a great place to go see a concert because 2/3 of it is covered, but it's open air. So like on a beautiful night like tonight, you're going to feel like you're a little bit outside. But I went to a concert. Heidi and I were both at last year at this concert. We both said it was great because it started to rain, and the people that
You get to be covered.
You get to be covered and
Have
still
I seen
stay.
this from the Hollywood Casino Amphitheater and just never noticed it?
You kind of have
like,
to
oh, I
drive
need to go around.
way
Okay.
back to where the casino is to see
All
where
right.
the music park is. But I think it's a cool venue. Just my 2 cents worth there. Soundbite today, as Frank mentioned earlier, we are going to have Brian Williams, who has officially thrown his hat in the ring to challenge what we were presuming is going to be a run by the incumbent Sam Page on the leader of St. Louis County. In his first interview since being indicted on alleged election violations, Sam Page was, let's say, not particularly forthcoming when Fox 2's Andy Banker asked him about, number one, his plans to run for re-election, and two, how he's responding to calls for him to step down in light of the indictment. Here's Sam Page.
We'll see what happens. It's going to be just fascinating because if you haven't met Brian Williams, and you'll get to know him a lot more on Monday on our program, he has the compelling gene. There's a lot of strengths for him. And I think with all the negativity, this is going to be one fascinating race.
And also at a public event, and you're a public official, and a reporter asks you a question, why do you say it's not the time or place to answer a very obvious question? I thought that was a curious approach, but that's just me.
Speaking of curious, do you know what the hottest topic or one of the hottest topics in America right now is? Cracker Barrel receiving negative feedback over its redesigns, getting rid of the dark and rustic kind of farmhouse look. And somebody said in the Wall Street Journal, it was just a heartbreak. My 14-year-old son was devastated.
It hasn't changed. I mean, it's one of those places that you there was a familiarity to it. For us, it was always a place where we would go on a road trip. So I think our kids had this association, and you play that game at the table with the pegs, and maybe, when you needed to kill some time, you'd give everybody $5, and then they have the incredible gift shop. And
the biggest thing, though, is the food. It's outstanding. And some of it, if you go the grilled chicken route and the vegetables, it's pretty healthy. Their pancakes are out of sight, too.
Yeah, I wouldn't say
It's just a
they're
great place.
known for being the healthiest place to go eat in the world.
Well, you
but
can go healthy with that. I've had that grilled chicken there a lot, and I really do like it. And those vegetables are good. But I'm telling you, I think their pancakes are like top 5 or top 10 of all time.
Yeah, I think the first time I ever had biscuits and gravy in my life, not having grown up in the South, was on a road trip with my best friend and her parents to Florida. They
didn't do biscuits and gravy out in Iowa?
We did not. Up to that point, it was not a thing and so we had to try it because I'd heard about it, and so we tried it at a Cracker Barrel, and skies opened up. It was
It's a little heavy for a breakfast item, in my opinion.
Also heavy, bad for you, and delicious. Sadly, all three of those things.
I'd love to hear on our text lines, 84126, your take or reaction, if you have one, on the Cracker Barrel redesigned. Is it?
Have you seen the pictures, Frank?
Yeah, I'm looking at them right now.
Like of they did like some building redesigns
Yeah.
too. They're rolling out more
Changed
open,
like the
more
logo
open.
a little bit, and I don't
Okay.
know. As long as the food is great, that's all that matters to me. But I'd love to know how other people are affected.
Hey, this is exciting news. $600, the new bid for the first pitch. So I think it's well worth it. Again, the chance to throw out the first pitch at that September 16th Cardinals game. You get to bring 6 of your closest friends or family with you. The green seat's still holding steady at $500. That's still a great deal. If you're a business person, I think what a great thing to be able to take a client to and impress them, and a gift of gratitude. It's a really good way for you to do that. And, of course, you're giving to one of the best charities, in our opinion, in St. Louis, the St. Louis Men's Group Against Cancer, which provides so many different ways by supporting different organizations who help people going through the cancer journey, whether it's kids, whether it's men, whether it's women, all kinds of smaller organizations that are doing the great work of supporting people through their cancer journey. And the St. Louis Men's Group Against Cancer pools all their resources to be able to support these groups that would otherwise have a hard time surviving on their own. It's been an inspiring day listening to all these stories, hasn't it, Frank?
Yes. So we're excited to be a part of it, and we got more to come. We're going to talk to a little Blues hockey and talk about how they have given back to the St. Louis area for a long time a little bit later in the program.
And our sponsorships on KTRS have been incredible. Capital Advisory Group, of course, Jeff Zufall, senior tax strategist there. He's also great as a wealth advisor, been doing it for a long time. And so many of our listeners have gotten to know Jeff, have said, I wish I would have gone to him a long time ago, because he's not only helping my money grow, but he's helped save me thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. We get those texts on the text line on taxes that you had been overpaying. Jeff, of course, has the show every weekend here with our own Josh Gilbert on Saturdays called Keep What's Yours, which is the title of his best-selling book on the subject of taxes. He's so passionate about it. He doesn't just like to talk about it to his clients. He likes to share that information with our listeners as well every single weekend and in his book. It's time for you, if you've been putting this off for a long time or trying to manage your own money and realize you really need a trusted thinking partner in this process, reach out to Jeff at capitaladvisorygrp.com, 636-394-5524.
And now, KTRS weather from the John Beal Roofing Weather Desk.
You're stepping off today in temperatures in the 60s or lower 70s, only warming to 84 degrees today. That is below normal for this time of year. Mostly sunny skies with a little bit more cloud cover in the afternoon, but the humidity is low and we have a nice breeze from the northeast around 10 miles per hour. The warmest temperatures this week happening today through Saturday. Then we get a fall-like feel beginning early next week. With your first alert forecast, I'm meteorologist Leah Hill for the Big 550 KTRS.
John Beal Roofing is the home of the lowest price roofing guarantee. Get a free estimate today at johnbealroofing.com. Looking for a great local restaurant recommendation? Feed me Seymour. Tune in to the Kuno Food Service weekly special during the Frank and Jill Show, Thursdays at 11. Hear from the best of the best restaurant owners in town. Only on the Frank and Jill Show, Thursdays at 11. Presented by Kuno Food Service, right here on the Big 550 KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
All right, so you're looking for a new front door, maybe to change the style up a little bit. Maybe you've got some windows that are leaking and aren't very energy efficient, and you'd like to get some new ones. And so you start looking for a window company. Let me tell you about my friend and my neighbor, Larry Thornton from the Window Store. He's been selling windows and doors in St. Louis for 37 years. He has access to all the quality windows and all the quality doors. And unlike so many other window companies, it's not a marketing game. Buy one, get the next 7 free. At the Window Store, you buy one window, you get one window. But when you compare apples to apples, right, you'll notice that the Window Store has much better pricing. There is no hard sell. They're not going to stand in the middle of your living room demanding you sign on the dotted line. For 37 years, they've beat everybody on quality, on price, on customer service. If you need windows or doors, that's why you need to call my neighbor, Larry, or his son, Joe, 314-739-0002 or WSWindow.com. KTRS.net.
It's Julie Buck here to tell you that the patio is open at Bishop's Post right next to Chesterfield Mall. Get your reservations in now and go to Bishop's Post. You will love it. Tell them Julie Buck sent you, bishopspost.com.
Dr. Joe, it can get very confusing, but the one thing we need to know is GLP-1, right? That's the magic cure.
Yeah, they're on the med, and these medications are used, these GLP-1s, for reducing inflammation in your body. I get so many folks that are like, wow, I don't have the knee pain. I don't have the...
Because once you start losing weight, all these other things naturally happen to you in a positive way. Not just talk about the deals for KTRS listeners at stlmedweightloss.com.
All KTRS listeners, they get $50 to $100 off their first month. And what's beautiful about it too, hey, I get it. The economy, what we just had, guys, things are difficult right now, but we make the plan work for you. We have financing options. We make this work for you because we realize how important it is to get down in your weight, get your confidence back, and really start feeling like the old you.
Call stlmedweightloss.com and ask Dr. Joe. stlmedweightloss.com.
The University of Missouri St. Louis is committed to providing top-ranked education. More than 80% of our students receive financial aid. At UMSL, more is what moves us. Find your more and explore your financial aid options at more.umsl.edu.
Some of my fondest memories as a kid is heading down to the hardware store. You had to pick up a couple of nails, a couple of screws, maybe a gallon of paint, whatever it may be, right? It was your friendly neighborhood hardware store. Well, those don't exist anymore in St. Louis, except for Schnarr's Hardware. They have two locations in Webster Groves and in Clayton Road in Ladue. Schnarr's Hardware is that place where you go in and you can get that bucket of paint, you can get a couple screws. The advice is always free. And the one thing about Schnarr's Hardware that every single family hardware store used to have, and that is the smell. It smells like a hardware store. It's got the selection. I don't know how they do it. It's a small store, but they got everything you ever need. They got the paint. They got paint matching. They've got big green eggs. They've got screws and nails and everything a hardware store should have. Schnarr's Hardware. 2 locations, 1 great hardware store. Schnarr's Hardware. We'll see you there.
Yes, we appreciate the Blues being a part of our special day here at KTRS. Nick Wirchek joins us now. Nick, great to be with you. You are the Vice President of Ticketing, Premium, and Suite Sales. It's a great job. How are you today, sir?
Doing awesome, Frank. Appreciate you and Jill having me on.
So why the association on a special day like this, and why have the Blues been so good to us on our big day here at KTRS?
I've been with the organization for, 20 years now, and I know that we've always participated in this. This means so much to us, and it's just, one of those things you do as being a part of the community.
Wow, that is very cool to hear about that. And let's talk a little bit about Blues tickets before we let you go today, because last year was a good one. It was really fun. You guys, I told Frank when we made it down to a game, the whole experience was just so great. What can fans expect through the 2020, 2025, 2026 season?
Well, obviously, we had a second half magical run. It didn't end the way we wanted, but there is a tremendous amount of momentum. We still do have our home win streak going right now that's continued on, through the playoffs. So the home opener is one of the more demanding ones I can remember ever since we won the Cup. So I can tell you in terms of ticket sales in general, season ticket sales are tremendously up. There's excitement like no other right now, which is awesome. And then just a little side note I would add is tomorrow our single game on sale happens at 10 a.m. So.
Oh, very nice. And then when you have a headline in the Post-Dispatch this morning, Jim Montgomery thinks the Blues likely to be really good. And you don't have to be a hockey expert to see what we saw last year with the infusion of all this young talent and all these first-round draft picks in the organization, paying dividends really at early stages of their careers. You've almost expedited the learning curves with some of these. It's not only going to be a good season this year, but boy, this franchise looks like it's locked and loaded for years, Nick.
Yeah, the future is tremendously bright. Besides all the young guns that all want their opportunity, we have some of the old guard that obviously wants to show that they can do and still be stars around here too. But obviously, and I think I saw it one time on a Sports Plus, Frank, you said if you were investing in one team, it would be the Blues right now. And, we all believe that here.
Nick, can you tell us where you are season ticket-wise? I know I may be catching you off guard. Like last year at this time, I think there was uncertainty. We thought it may be another playoff-less year. This year, we're expecting it, and those younger players are a year older. Where are you season ticket-wise last year at this time as opposed to now?
I don't have the exact number in front of me. However, I will say it's tremendously up year over year to where, we're back to the standard and we want to be sold out regularly.
Good stuff. One of the things that probably the rest of the world knows about, and I was last years old when I learned about it, and I often am the last to know, is we put together an event at a Blues game where the alumni from my university, we used it as an event to gather people. You guys, it was so easy to work with you guys in the ticket office to put that together. It was a fun excuse to bring people together. We ate and had a drink together before the game and then came to cheer on the Blues. That's something that has been around for a while. What if somebody wants to get a group that they're involved in together to come do an event like that?
Anytime anybody has a group, feel free to, obviously our website has some information, but you can always call us. We're at 314-622-BLUE, and one of our reps would be glad to help you, guide you through it, almost customize something exactly to fit your needs. That's what we try to do around here, and, we have groups that host all the time, but we really take pride in the service aspect of it as well.
And Nick, the other thing is the building and the facility itself. It's 30 years old now, I believe. And when you walk in, it just feels like it's almost brand new.
When we did our renovations, and obviously it was over the course of a couple summers, we were able to do those. But we've now had almost 30 NHL and NBA teams that have came into town to look and see what we do, learn best practices. When we were going through, our planning phase, we were doing the same exact thing. So we all kind of steal from each other, and right now a lot of folks are keeping an eye on what St. Louis has done.
Nick, good stuff. We really appreciate your association and partnership with KTRS. Thank you, sir.
Frank and Jill, let's get to this goal. Thanks all.
All right. Nick Warchek. He is the St. Louis Blues, really one of the movers and shakers in the organization in terms of ticket sales. He's a vice president, ticketing, premium, and suite sales. So.
Yep, and it's great because both the St. Louis Blues and our friends at Inland Marine are the sponsors for this hour of the Frank and Jill Show and the 15th annual KTRS Radioathon. If you're just tuning in, we're, of course, raising money to support the St. Louis Men's Group Against Cancer, which is an incredible charity in our area that raises tons of money for a variety of smaller charities that support people that are on a journey with cancer. And Frank, we've talked about this before in the past. My husband, John, an incredibly fit and healthy guy, unfortunately has had cancer twice in his lifetime. Both times went through that with the incredible help of the cancer treatment centers we have here in St. Louis. Siteman and others in the area do an excellent job at handling the medical side of things, and I'm happy to report that he's in the clear and unlikely to have recurrence at this point, and we're very grateful for that. But we can both speak to the fact that there's a lot of other aspects on the cancer journey, the emotional side of things, and to hear about the many groups in St. Louis that support women who've been through breast cancer, men who are in a cancer journey right now with a weekend retreat through the organization that we talked about earlier in our show, Real Recovery of St. Louis, Camp Rainbow, which supports kids who are on a cancer, are going through cancer treatment or blood disorder treatment to provide them some normalcy and the ability to get together. These are all groups that would have a hard time struggling on their own if they didn't have that infusion of support from the St. Louis Men's Group Against Cancer.
Yeah, and John, you don't talk about it much, but he beat it twice, right?
Yep, and he's just doing excellent, and it was a life changer. It was a life changer for both of us, and it impacted our whole family in many ways, and so we get it. We understand exactly what you go through when you get that news that just kind of shocks you to your core, when you try to figure out what the best options are for the medical side of things, and then when you go through the both the physical and mental healing of trying to look at life through that perspective of appreciation and gratitude, and not let fear drive the bus.
Do you think that if you were in, say, Boise, Idaho, it wouldn't have turned out as great as it has for John? I mean, being in this area for his treatment?
We were absolutely blown away. So much for we are fortunate in that we have an oncologist in the family, and she at that time was practicing literally at Harvard Medical School in Boston. And when I reached out to her and asked for a consultation, she reached out to their top surgeon, and he had come from WashU and trained at WashU, and he said, here's the person that I would have treat this particular cancer in St. Louis. And it just really was comforting to us to know that even when we went outside of St. Louis to get second opinions, we were being told what we have here is second to none in terms of cancer treatment and options.
All right, let's take a break. This is the Frank and Jill Show. This is our Radiothon specialty program of the year. We're excited to be a part of it.
When it's time to shop for your next pair of shoes, consider New Balance St. Louis. We have a large selection of styles and sizes to help you find the perfect fit. See for yourself why New Balance is a preferred athletic brand by medical professionals. Our fit pros are knowledgeable and take the time to understand your specific goals and activities. Customer service, selection, and style makes all the difference when selecting your footwear. Visit us in Creve Coeur and Richmond Heights. New Balance St. Louis, nationally known, locally owned.
Hey, it's Julie Buck for our friends at Triad Bank. They are a full-service financial institution, and they've been in St. Louis for over 20 years with 2 locations, one at Clayton and Lindbergh, and the other one just west of 270 on Olive. If you've got your own business and you want to have a better banking experience, look no further than Triad Bank. Their mission is to provide a wide range of commercial and personal banking services to you and your business. For more, go to triadbanking.com.
Congratulations to John Beal Roofing. Want to give them a shout out. They've been a sponsor of the show through thick and through thin for coming up on 20 years. And their message has remained the same all these 20 years. Make sure you call someone local. With all the storms that have been in the area over the last couple of months, it's been busy, and a lot of out-of-towners are coming in. They sure are nice, but you know what? They'll take half your money, and you never see them again. Somebody from the insurance industry told me, make sure you call local. I told them I was well-schooled. John Beal Roofing will guarantee you the best price. They'll work with your insurance company and make sure you get the claim you deserve to fix it and fix it right. Roofing, siding, gutters, all storm damage, John Beal Roofing will take care of it. Keep it local and keep it John Beal. Keep it in the family for 20-plus years. John Beal Roofing, 1-800-NEW-ROOF or johnbealroofing.com.
You don't need to wait until it's cold outside to check your furnace. Beat the rush and save with Aldon's $79 Furnace Safety Check Special for new customers. And Aldon will make replacing your aging system a breeze. Get a $300 Aldon rebate off a new Daikin Fit furnace and pay as little as $273 per month, plus receive additional utility rebates if eligible. Also get a free custom air quality assessment with every service call. For details on these specials and to learn more about Daikin Fit systems, visit al-don.com.
John Carney, Julie Buck, weekdays at noon on KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
JF Electric Company, Inc. seeks assistant project manager, Edwardsville, Illinois, to manage electrical construction projects. Highly involved with the bid process, often contributing information and recommendations on the bid itself. Proactively assists PMs with managing electrical construction projects from winning the bid to completing the work. Helps establish project objectives and lays out the project plan in accordance with contract specifications. Identifies, applies for, obtains, and maintains all applicable permits as directed by PM. BS or equivalent in engineering or construction management. ability with prior leadership role, adhere to a schedule and reliably show up for all scheduled shifts on time, attention to detail, computer proficiency, Primavera or ability to learn Primavera within 90 days. Resumes to J. Foster, 200 Lakefront Parkway, Edwardsville, Illinois, 62025.
The Bommarito Automotive Group is Missouri's #1 automotive group. They've sold over 1 million vehicles by giving you a better price, a better selection, and more for your trade. You can shop them online, see their entire inventory of over 12,000 vehicles online at bommarito.com.
All right, so I wish I would have brought this up earlier because I think we would have got quite a response on the text lines, 84126. But what about this idea that's been floated out there? There should be cameras in every classroom that parents can have access to, and the following would occur knowing that parents can watch, according to this article. Foolish behavior in class would plummet. Teachers would think twice knowing their parents can see what they teach. Zero he said, she said about controversial situations that happen because it's on video. So you get less disruptions, increased accountability, and better education outcomes. What do people think about this? What's the downside?
I know we have some educators in the audience. Royal Banks of Missouri text line 84126. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah.
So what would watching your kid 24/7 give you? You're both parents. What would you do about this?
I don't think it's watching the kid. I think it's trying to find out if the teacher is doing the right thing.
So you're surveilling the teachers?
Yes.
24/7?
That's what I'm sure that's what this is about. It's not about.
Is there a
the
worry
student.
that the teachers are doing something wrong, or is that a real fear, I guess?
Well,
is that a fear you had?
I did not have one at Westminster.
Okay.
I didn't either, ever. And I have to say, growing up the child of an educator and who was...
What's the downside?
Who was incredibly...
Well, you're surveilling someone at work 24/7.
I think there's... I'm looking at it from the teacher's perspective or being the family of a teacher or having friends who are teachers. Sometimes parents come in and want to think that they can do the job of teacher better than teachers, which in my opinion, if you think you should be homeschooling. And they try to micromanage what's happening and they don't trust the professionals. And people who have training and understanding, generally speaking, go so above and beyond to make sure that all the teachers, I have to say, almost absolutely in every one of my kids' grades that I can think of, went so far above and beyond to care about them and meet their needs. And even when things were a little challenging, I know that's not everybody's situation all the time, but
it's good.
I think that's part of it. And so to say to teachers in general, we already have a hard time getting enough people to be willing to do for the low pay and the high demand of the job to say, and by the way, we're going to show you one more way we don't trust you. I don't know.
Frank, I have a strong opinion about cameras in the classroom. Bad idea. Teachers have a hard enough job as it is. It would be terrible to know that you're on camera all the time. Cameras could quell bullying in schools. My grandkids' schools use a camera system called Seesaw, and we see pics and videos of the classes throughout the day.
It's pretty common in daycare centers for people that gives them parents who are wanting to kind of check in on the kids. I think that's been around for a while. I just haven't heard of it in higher grades.
Here's a former teacher, a friend of mine. I had some great parents when I taught high school, but I also had some nightmare parents who would try to blindly protect their lazy children. Okay, I could see that. If a teacher has a bad day, I can see that parents are really going to condemn the teacher. I wouldn't want somebody surveilling every move I make. It's good.
That's true. Although somebody is surveilling every move we make here at KTRS now. We're on YouTube.
But even then, that's not really the case,
No,
right? Because
you're
we
right.
go back into the office and prep for a show or most people are not actually surveilled at their job the entire time they're working.
But I am when I'm on the air and TV.
But you do plenty of work off the air.
Yes. But I'll say this. Last night I screwed up. I used the S word live on TV. I said the Cardinals would sweep the Marlins.
Oh. You made a prediction.
Okay, before we take our final break today, I think it's just really important that we tell you there is a lot of generous people in our listening audience, and I can't tell you how much we appreciate every single one of you. Frank, one more time on your auction item. I've got some generous people bidding for this special experience with you. Let's give everybody one more chance, because our auction items, what Frank and I are offering, this ends in about 8 minutes now. So you have 8 more minutes to do it.
So if you want to come down to Channel 5 at a mutually agreeable day, you can watch our 6 o'clock news being shot. You can take pictures with Ann Allred and Mike Bush with yourself on the set, behind the scenes look at what goes on at 5 on your side. And then afterwards, we'll go get some pizza together.
Yep, great idea. The bid right now stands at $300. If you want this great chance to spend some time with Frank or give your kids or grandkids or somebody in your life the experience of a lifetime, to have photographs of being on that news set, all you have to do is text Frank, the word Frank, to 84126, the Royal Banks Missouri text line. If you want the item that I am throwing up for auction today, which is the chance to come down, spend a little time with Frank and me on the Frank and Jill show, at the end of the show on a mutually agreed upon date, then I'm going to take you to lunch at Basso, which is right here in Westport Plaza now. It's excellent. I've gone there, been there for a meeting and a lunch with friends, just outstanding. And then after lunch, you can come spend a $100 gift card at Hats and Stuff, courtesy of our friend Andy at Hats and Stuff, who's always a generous donor, especially for all things related to cancer. And they have some of the best prices on Cardinals, City, and Blues and other sports wear as well. That bid stands at $550.
Getting a great response on the cameras things. Too many parents try to tell others how to do their jobs, like in sports. Yeah, that's a really good point. My daughter was a 6th grade teacher for 10 years. She left. I'm really glad she did after hearing ideas like this. No. If the cameras were on the kids, it would stop parents from condemning teachers. Might be a
I think that person is saying it might be good for teachers to be able to show what it is they have to put up with, and it might give the kids.
Teachers are kind of like the police. Like, almost all of them are really good. There's some bad ones, but almost all of them are really good.
Okay, the bid for my item just went up to $600. Wow, thanks, you guys. That is, I'm absolutely humbled by that, and I really, really appreciate it. Frank, we should also tell people we've been having some friends who have gone to make donations directly at KTRS, and what people get some great prizes just for making a straight donation as well.
Yeah, all you got to do is bid $100 right now, and you'll receive 4 tickets to the September 16th Cardinals and Reds. And you'll have an entry into the Masters Golf Experience drawing. And with a $200 donation, this is the deal. This is the deal, folks. $200, you get 4 Cardinal tickets, 2 Blues preseason tickets, 2 City SC tickets, plus your name will be entered 3 times in a drawing for the Masters Golf Experience on a private jet, courtesy of Metal Exchange.
We're going to take one more quick break, and then when we come back, it's your last chance to be able to bid on any of the auction items for the Frank and Jill show, which is our 2 auction items as well. Meanwhile, Premier Heating and Cooling, talk about a winner. Great, great, great company that does a great job at providing customer service to you, whether you're a small business, whether you're an individual homeowner. They love making sure that your heating and air conditioning is operating at peak premium level. They'll come service even your old unit that you want to keep alive as long as you can, but they also have a great selection of new units that could really help you save in the long run on your bills, because the new units are just so much more efficient for those that are 15 or 20 years old for sure. PremierHeatingCooling.net, 636-916-1122.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions. Like your really expensive limited edition sneakers and your new suit for your cousin's wedding. Except you never actually bought the suit because you can't stop buying sneakers. So you show up to the wedding looking like you're going grocery shopping. But hey, at least your sneakers will look good in the pictures. Until you're cropped out of every last one of them. So go ahead and get Progressive so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Thanks so much, you guys, for your generous donations. The winner of the Frank auction item is $500. Got that special experience with him down at Channel 5.
Can I mention his name?
Please.
Jeff Drew, who is regarded as the king, one of the great people in St. Louis.
And Kelly Kim, looks like you won the lunch, which I cannot wait to go lunch with you. You're an incredibly generous friend, and hopefully you're going to bring our whole group of friends $700 for that item with me. I really, really appreciate all of your generous bids. So does Frank. Keep bidding on those green seats and on the first pitch. Carney and Julie and Max are up next. Make it a great day, everybody. We'll be back here tomorrow. Mark Maxwell is going to join me as Frank is off.
Hey, Tinsley, why don't we use EasyCater to order food for staff lunches?
Because my 46-page acronym system is so easy. I just have to salad, stay alert to late arriving deliveries, pie, put in expenses, and Google Pie. Go out and get everyone's preferences and allergy information.
That's supposed to be simple?
No, simple is Steve and Irma and Margie prefer lasagna and empanadas.
OMG.
No need to make work life more complicated. Just use EasyCater, the easy way to get food for work.
This is the sound of captivity. This is the sound of rescue. And this is the sound of freedom. Give Armenia's captive bears a second chance by supporting International Animal Rescue. Call 508-826-1083 or search The Great Bear Rescue to learn more.
For all of your travel needs, you go to the best travel agency in the world. Granted, I'm a little biased. Altair Travel and Cruises. They'll take you wherever you want to go in style. They'll handle all the details. You handle all the fun. Don't go to the Googles. Don't make that mistake. It all starts at Altair Travel and Cruises on Brentwood Boulevard, 314-968-9600. Anywhere you want to go, let Altair Travel take you. AltairTravel.com.
The Big 550.
KTRS St. Louis.
I'm Michelle Franzen. The Texas State Senate could take up the redistricting measure passed by House state lawmakers yesterday, and it could give the GOP a handful of new seats in Congress. Other states now pushing to redraw their own maps. Here's ABC's Jay O'Brien.
Republican-leaning states have more opportunities to redistrict. They don't have some of the procedural hurdles, or they just have districts that they can continue to grow or change, etc. They have more opportunities to pick up states in this flood of summer redistricting than Democratic states do. But Democratic states say, like Gavin Newsom of California, for example, they are going to try to meet this in kind. They are going to try to redraw maps in their own states even if they don't have the political advantage.
Israeli forces have started their military operation to occupy Gaza City in order to defeat Hamas. It involves airstrikes and the IDF calling up 60,000 reservists. Here's ABC's James Longman.
Humanitarian groups and most of Europe have sounded the alarm over this plan. They say it will make a catastrophic situation for the Palestinians worse. Starvation, as we know, has been gripping Gaza for months, and most of the 2 million people who are trapped there have already been forced to move multiple times. When we speak to Palestinians, they tell us they've had to move upwards of 20 times to try to avoid the fighting, the airstrikes, and to try to get hold of aid.
Hurricane Aaron churning out in the Atlantic. The outer bands of North Carolina is raking the U.S. coast, also imposing a threat for surge and rip currents. ABC's Brian Clark is in Belmont, New Jersey.
Watching seagulls struggle to navigate 25-mile-an-hour winds, and even for humans walking down the beach, you feel the wind. It picks you up and blows you. Authorities here in New Jersey say it's okay to be on the beach, but by no circumstances should you be in the ocean. Beaches up and down the New Jersey shore closed to swimmers. Red flag warnings prompted by Hurricane Aaron.
On Wall Street, stocks are down this hour. You're listening to ABC News.
What are you doing every day to support your liver? If you enjoy sweets, fast food, alcohol, or take any medications, that's a vital question to ask. Hi, I'm Sherry Torkas, pharmacist and health author. For over 30 years, I've helped people make informed decisions about their health, especially concerning prevention and long-term wellness. Supporting your liver isn't just a wellness trend, it's a daily essential. That's why I recommend Active Liver by New Nordic. It's made with plant-based ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and globe artichoke, herbs clinically studied for their protective and restorative effects on the liver. Active Liver blends traditional herbal wisdom with modern scientific research.